The world has known many rivalries, but only once did two superpowers bring civilization to the brink of nuclear war. After World War II, the United States and Soviet Union faced each other across an invisible line, each building weapons capable of ending human history. America had already positioned nuclear missiles in Turkey and Italy, pointed directly at the Soviet heartland. Moscow felt the pressure. Khrushchev needed a countermove, something bold enough to shift the balance of terror. In 1959, Fidel Castro's revolution had transformed Cuba into a Soviet ally. 90 miles from American soil, after the failed Bay of Pigs invasion in 1961, Cuba feared another American attack. The Soviet Union saw an opportunity. Khrushchev ordered Operation Anadyr. Soviet troops were told they were heading to the Arctic. The real destination was Cuba, concealed beneath cargo tarps and false manifests. The missiles crossed the Atlantic, undetected, a nuclear arsenal hidden in plain sight. The missiles arrived at San Cristobal in western Cuba under jungle canopy. Soviet engineers began construction. The R-12 missile could strike Washington, D.C. in minutes. The R-14 could reach nearly every American city. For weeks, the buildup continued, unseen, undetected, while American intelligence watched elsewhere. Then, on October 14, 1962, a U-2 spy plane flew silently at 70,000 feet above the Cuban countryside. Its cameras captured everything: missile crates, launch pads, support vehicles, undeniable evidence of nuclear weapons on Cuban soil. CIA analyst at the National Photographic Interpretation Center confirmed what no one wanted to believe. President Kennedy was briefed on the morning of October the 16th. The United States just was now in crisis. He assembled ExComm, his most trusted advisors, meeting in secret, so as not to trigger panic. The options were stark: airstrike, invasion, or blockade. Each choice risked starting a nuclear war. On October 22nd, Kennedy addressed the nation. For the first time, the American people learned how close they were to annihilation. The U.S. Navy established a quarantine line 500 nautical miles around Cuba, daring Soviet ships to cross it. Soviet cargo ships steamed toward the blockade line, each one potentially carrying nuclear warheads. The world held its breath. American forces went to DEFCON 2, one step from nuclear war. Beneath the Atlantic, Soviet submarine B-59 had lost contact with Moscow. Its captain believed war had already begun. The captain ordered the nuclear torpedo armed. One officer's refusal, Vasily Arkhipov, may have saved the world. On October 27th, the most dangerous day, a U-2 was shot down over Cuba. Its pilot, Major Rudolph Anderson, was killed. Military commanders urged retaliation. Kennedy refused. He knew one wrong move would end everything. Behind closed doors, the real negotiation began. Back channels opened between Washington and Moscow, away from the generals. The public deal and the Soviets removed their missiles from Cuba. But the secret deal would change NATO forever. America would secretly withdraw its Jupiter missiles from Turkey. Neither side would announce it publicly for decades. On October 28th, Khrushchev announced the missiles would be withdrawn. The world exhaled. Soviet ships turned back. Missile crates were loaded onto cargo vessels and carried back. Across the Atlantic, American surveillance aircraft watched as the launch sites were dismantled, one structure at a time. By November, the infrastructure of nuclear annihilation was being dismantled, piece by piece. 13 days, 90 miles of ocean, and the decisions of a handful of men who chose restraint over annihilation. The crisis revealed how close the machinery of war could run without any single person fully in control. A direct hotline was established between Washington and Moscow because the world could never afford 13 days like that again. The Cuban Missile Crisis did not end the Cold War, but for 13 days, it showed us what the end of everything looks like.